Okay, thank you for the introduction, and good morning, dear colleagues here in Halle and online in front of the screen. I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to speak to you today, and thanks to Yada for this great conference, and especially for this wonderful backlight. Pink is my favorite color. Okay, I hope this will work. No. What do I have to do? Is it this button? Yeah. Ah, okay. Okay. First, I would like to give you a short overview of the institution I work for. I work as a paper conservator at the LVR Archivberatungs- und Fortbildungszentrum in Pulheim-Brauweiler near Cologne. It's an archive advisory and training center that offers services for around 580 non-governmental archives in the Rhineland, a part of North Rhine-Westphalia. As you can see at the picture, we have our workshop in this beautiful old abbey, and yeah, the upper photo is the entrance. The third photo is the entrance to our workshop. In my daily work, I carry out consultations or create reports or statements. Conservation treatments and the implementation of workshops and trainings to archive employees are also part of my work. It's a very exciting field of activity because I have to deal with many different preservation and conservation issues. As all of you know, archival materials, books and other written documents are exposed to many dangers. Endogenous and exogenous factors can cause several kinds of damage to historic materials. Although there are various offers in the training program of the LVR-AFZ and also from other counseling centers, it is not always possible to participate in a face-to-face training. E-learning courses in vocational education offer an interesting opportunity here. Over the next 20 minutes, I would like to tell you about two projects in which I have worked over the past few years. Both projects, two different e-learning modules, can be found at www.bestandserhaltung.eu. The first module deals with the topic Bestandserhaltung, it's preservation, and the second with Notfallvorsorge, emergency preparedness, which I will present in a little more detail. By working through the two modules, users acquire the knowledge required for the proper handling of a variety of different historical documents. The aim is to teach users to prevent further damage and to take the right steps in the event of different types of damage. Both courses are free of charge and available only in German language. But I think with a translation program, the courses should be easy to follow. The modules are intended to serve as an example of how knowledge transfer with preservation and conservation issues can work. We are all familiar with the term e-learning, but what does it actually mean? E-learning means electronic learning. Teaching and learning processes are supported by electronic and digital media, tools and offers. There are several advantages. E-learning courses make it possible to learn independently of location and time, and all of you know we have little time. Training and further education can therefore be integrated more easily into everyday working life. This is particularly interesting for small institutions with few employees and a small budget. Individual learning preferences are taken into account so that users can learn at their own pace. By repeating the whole course or individual parts, learning content can better be internalized. Variety is created with different didactic tools and media so that learning becomes more diverse in contrast to textbooks or pure text from the internet. Abstract contents can be illustrated and visualized with images, workflows, or videos. Different tasks ensure variety and thus higher attention. Users always get feedback, which is important for self-monitoring of learning success and to maintain motivation. Ideally, learners have fun working through the courses. We hope so. And after learning, it's important that the acquired knowledge is transferred into professional practice. The first module which I present to you now deals with the topic preservation. The project period was from 2014 to 2016. The project partners came from 4 countries: Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and Germany. The project was supported financially by an EU program called Erasmus+. This is a program for adult education and vocational training. Because the topic of e-learning was new in the archival field, experts had to be found. So archivists and conservators worked together with psychologists, web and graphic designers, and filmmakers. As you can see on the sheet, it's an open university in Heerlen in the Netherlands. They worked as our external service providers. Yeah, this collaboration was a very exciting and educational experience for me and for the whole team. Because the course was created as a joint project between 4 countries, the aim was to find topics that were relevant in all countries and whose work processes were as similar as possible. It was important that scientific and professional knowledge, as well as internationally valid standards, formed the basis of the course. The basics of preservation and a little bit of conservation should be transmitted, from the acquisition of archival materials to dry cleaning, removing metal parts to packing and foliation. In addition, the learner should gain knowledge about storage, climate standards, packaging options, as well as many different types of damage. And at the end of the course, the learners should be able to decide for which type of damage they can take action themselves and when an expert must be consulted. The module is primarily aimed at employees in small archives or libraries without an in-house conservation workshop, career changes, administrative employees and interns, and furthermore for all those interested in dealing with historic materials. Yes, I briefly explained the structure of the course. For the didactic concept, it was decided to stagger the learning according to levels of difficulty. Knowledge is built up piece by piece. Therefore, the various steps in the preservation process were broken down and prioritized. Subsequently, these work steps were sorted into 3 levels of difficulty, and learning goals for each level were defined. In level 1, you start as a beginner and acquire basic knowledge in dealing with archival materials. Level 2 is for advanced users. The focus is on handling damaged records. After completing level 3, you are a professional. In this level, the focus is on handling mold and health protection. Theory is offered when it's needed. Text provides the basics of the theoretical knowledge. Videos and pictures visualize what has been learned and deepen it. Therefore, all previous steps are shown or touched upon again and again, so that the process becomes holistic. Thus, depending on the level of knowledge, learners are taken by the hand and knowledge is steadily built up. Users can then apply and deepen their knowledge with a variety of tasks. These tasks are designed as quizzes or mini-games. It is important that learners always get feedback, are motivated or given a hint in case of a wrong answer. Here you can see the start page of the first module, preservation. with the different levels, the little white stars. Level 1 was 1 white star, and level 2 was 2 stars, level 3 was 3 stars, and another section with further information and references. The e-learning course was the first of its kind in the archival field in Germany and has now been online for 6.5 years. It will get a content and technical revision the next year. Now you know the structure of the first course. Perhaps you recognize the 4 phases according to how e-learning courses are structured. The first phase is activation. I'm interested in learning this content because I have a problem in my daily work, perhaps a lot of dirty documents. The second is demonstration. Show me how to do it. Then I could watch a video in the e-learning course which demonstrated the dry cleaning. The third phase is named application. I apply my new knowledge virtually. This means I solve a quiz and then I get feedback. And the last one is integration. I'm able to apply my knowledge in my professional practice. Means I buy suitable materials and tools and carry out the dry cleaning independently. Let us see if we can also find these 4 phases in the next module. For the second module, the topic emergency preparedness was chosen due to its being an elementary component of the preservation management of archives and cultural institutions. The project started in 2020 and ended in December of last year. The focus here is on water damage. Institutions are often unprepared when such damage happens. In a short time, severe damage or even loss of historical records can occur. The e-learning course aims to build up the necessary knowledge to prevent damage. The more prevention is done and the faster action is taken, the lower the resulting damage will be. The course aims to ensure that users are prepared for water emergencies and that they acquire the competence to act. The project was financed with funds from the KEK, der Koordinierungsstelle für die Erhaltung des schriftlichen Kulturguts, der regionalen Kulturgutförderung from the LVR and from the Luxembourg National Archives. The project period coincided with the COVID pandemic, so the course was mainly created in online meetings. These circumstances made it clear again how important distance learning offers can be. The flood disaster in the southern Rhineland and Rhineland-Palatinate caused devastating damage in the summer of 2021. Once again, the need for emergency preparedness was sadly demonstrated. The experiences my colleagues and me gained during the several weeks of emergency operations in the salvage and first aid of affected archives was also incorporated into the course. You can see a lot of photos. But it were not only major disasters and catastrophes for which the course was created. Above all, it prepares for minor water damage, which can hit any cultural institution unexpectedly. Users learn how to deal in different damage situations. They get to know different kinds of damage caused by water, get knowledge about cost factors, and are able to identify risk, analyzing and minimizing them. The target group includes employees in archives, libraries and museums, conservators and those responsible for preservation, as well as non-professionals interested in memory and cultural institutions. Trainees and volunteers can also benefit from the course. A categorization into 3 levels of difficulty was not possible here. Therefore, the module was structured in 3 chapters. Chapter 1, acting in the event of damage. Chapter 2, why emergency preparedness, and being prepared. The course consists of various elements: text, tasks, numerous photos, graphics, and videos. The tags provide the basic framework. In addition to instructional videos on specific fields of action, such as salvage or the packing of wet archival materials, eyewitness interviews provide insights into real-life damage situations. 3 colleagues report on their personal experiences, and learners can benefit from their expertise. Documentation templates, workflows, and Excel sheets are meant to be downloaded and implemented into one's own emergency planning. Here you can see the different sections of the course, and you can also find further information and references. And this is, especially for this course, many documents that you can download. The course starts by throwing the user immediately into action. Imagine you arrive at your archive on Monday morning. It has been raining heavily all weekend. You go to the basements where the stone rooms are located. You start to have a bad feeling about this. The question is, what should I do now? Should I turn on the light? Should I run to a shelf and grab a box? Or should I run away screaming? The learner is directly confronted with an emergency damage situation. From a didactic point of view, the course starts with the highest priority, the actions that need to be taken in the event of an acute water damage. Yes, in Chapter 1, Acting in the Event of Damage, users learn how to react appropriately in the event of damage, initiate emergency measures, and coordinate a salvage team. Above all, practical steps are shown in videos. Users learn how to salvage archive materials properly, to document processes and prepare wet objects for drying. The handling of heavily soiled records is also taught. Several videos filmed during a workshop demonstrate concrete actions. Here you can see a video for air drying. Eyewitness interviews provide insights into past damage events. The 3 colleagues are from Germany, from Switzerland, and from Luxembourg. Users can solve different tasks, for example, multiple choice. Here you have a task that asks you how to remove water and light soilings from the object. You have to choose an answer. Or what do you have to consider when handling water-damaged objects? Users can also solve text exercises or drag-and-drop quizzes. The first one is a text exercise where you write down your first thoughts, what you would do in a damage situation. And the second is a drag-and-drop quiz. Drag the correct terms onto the photo. What do you need for air drying? Workflows serve as an orientation, for example, an overview of which stations are necessary to manage a damaged situation. This is a left picture, a workflow, or a table that can be used to assign various materials or objects into suitable drying processes. And we worked with this table in concrete damage situations. You can see the different objects, bound or unbound, or large format or photos, and is it possible that you can do the air drying, or can you freeze them, or freeze drying and you can read what you have to do. The second chapter shows how important preventive measures are. This is illustrated through a multitude of damage images. The elimination or reduction of damage is often very time-consuming and costly. In some cases, conservation is no longer possible. Here you see a damaged record with a red color, or a badly damaged photo. Exemplary calculations and a list of possible cost factors show that the balance always tips in favor of prevention. Chapter 3 focuses on identifying, analyzing, assessing, or minimizing risks. Users learn to identify damage and risk factors in their own institution. In addition, users can fill out a checklist in which they can review important safety aspects within their institution. In green, yellow, or red, it visualized what action is needed and what needs to be optimized. Users learn to do a risk analysis. An Excel form can be used and downloaded to determine risks of level of various hazards. The result is a hazard catalog and a matrix for your own archive. In order to prepare one's own institution as well as possible, different systems for the compilation of emergency materials are presented. Here you can see boxes with emergency materials or a contact list for your network or for external service providers. And this is in a very small format, though you can put it into your pocket. The emergency preparedness module is intended to motivate people to deal with in-house emergency planning, to define processes for practical action, and to rehearse communication chains and the handling of archival materials damaged by water or perhaps mud. The better the preparation, the faster and more coordinated action can be taken. At the end of chapters 1 and 3, there is a comprehensive quiz where learners can apply their knowledge and receive feedback. If their answer is incorrect, the learners receive motivating words and tips. They can then independently assess their learning success and put what they have learned into professional practice. The first picture is you see a situation and you have to find out the hotspots or the wrong things on this photo. Or a multiple choice task with the right fire extinguisher, or you have to assign damaged pictures in the right box. To conclude my presentation, I would make a short review. The work on both modules was very interesting for me from the beginning, and I was able to gain many new experiences. The open communication in the working groups and the successful cooperation were very positive. Getting a glimpse into completely different areas of work, some not so common, was very insightful. As a conservator, you usually do not get to collaborate on the creation of websites or the development of didactic concepts. And what I have also learned, as an expert, you first have to escape the curse of knowledge. Content has to be brought down to the point in a clear and understandable way. Putting yourself in the perspective of learners who don't have the same level of knowledge is sometimes not so easy. Basically, both modules are not only suitable for integration into everyday work, professional life, they can also be used in training and education. The positive feedback confirms the success of the concept and its implementation. Until today, Module 2 has been accessed more than 5,500 times. Users are mainly from Germany, but the website has also been visited in Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Italy, Great Britain, Finland, the USA, and China, for example. There would certainly be a few more interesting topics that could be prepared as an e-learning course, and I hope that the platform will continue to grow in the coming years. I thank you for your attention, and I invite you to discover the two modules for yourself. Thank you.
Is it working? Yeah. Thank you very much, Katerina, for this beautiful initiative you just presented to us. I'm sure we have many questions brewing in the audience.
I'm sorry. A couple questions.
Oh.
In your, if you go through the 3 steps, modules, you listed that you're now a professional. In your experience, have you found that those individuals who have gone through all 3, have found jobs, or has it improved their standing in a current job, perhaps? Is there some professional standing that you can get with passing through your course? And the other thing I had to ask was, all of your pictures show the conservators, the preparators, wearing gloves. And in America, at least, I have a lot of trouble talking to curators who want to wear gloves when they're handling artifacts and rare books. And I am constantly telling them, no, you need to wash your hands every minute or how often, but you cannot handle artifacts, in my opinion, wearing gloves. Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of odd.
Okay, I try it with my English skills to answer your question. I think nobody of you needs the first module. I think you can go through it, but I think you are more than a professional, what we mean in this context. It was prepared for, not for conservators, but for people who can't work in their jobs anymore and want to have a small job in an archive and have to clean or packing the records. And for them, it's very good to go through the courses. And we get feedback that it's very good for them who don't have any ideas how to handle historic documents, I think. And the second one, you always see pictures with gloves, because when you do the dry cleaning, we always use gloves. And the first module, the second one was with pictures in concrete damage situations. These are pictures taken in the flood 2021, and with mold and dirt and other things, and I don't want to touch them with my hands. I think you don't see a picture just to handle a clean document with gloves. No, and I don't like it too. But maybe depends on the object if you need gloves or not.
Hello, Idlet van Leeuwen, Rijksmuseum. Excellent initiative. I wish I knew this before, because it could have saved me lots of instruction to people also in museums. Yeah. Could you say something about the time it takes for a person to go through the whole course, the first one and the second one? Mm. So I have an idea about, well, if I tell somebody, please do this course, how much time do they need to spend on it?
I think for the first course you need maybe 1 day, 4, 5, 6 hours. I don't know. It's but the second module is much more, and it's much more input. And I think you can't do it in 1 day, and you have to think about it. You have to repeat it, and I think it's better you have 2 or 3 days with breaks. And yes, and I talked to my colleague Anna from the Federal Archives of Germany, and she said that all her colleagues in a emergency coordinating team have to go through the emergency preparedness module to learn all the relevant things one time a year, I think, every year, again and again, and yeah.